On the joint statement, we are getting this breaking piece of information that there has been some positive movement on the joint communique as far as the European Union is concerned. That's a statement that is coming out of the European Union. So that is big. So G20 Sherpas, in fact, reaching that deal, we might just have that in the wake of the Russian nuclear war, in the wake of China's ambition in the Indo-Pacific. We are hearing by EU itself that there is some positive movement on the joint communique. A huge development that we are bringing for our viewers right here on CNN News 18. My colleague Abhishek Jha, who has brought us that information, is joining us on the broadcast. Abhishek, this is absolute positive news.
Of course, and all this while we have been talking how this whole visit of all the leaders in Delhi was marred by controversy and despite differences on the issue of Russia-Ukraine conflict. And now it looks like there is some positive movement, some freezing of those controversial para which Russia did not want. Probably that has been tweaked. We are still not sure, but then the sources are telling us that there has been some positive movement on the joint communique, and there could be possibility that by the end of the day or by the end of the whole summit tomorrow, there could be a communique or a declaration that will be signed by all parties present in Delhi, and it will be a moment that Indian presidency will rejoice, because the last time also we were in Bali and we had this hunch that the joint communique would not come because of the differences emerging between European Union and Russia. This time it was being said that Russia, China are being on the one side, and EU, G7, they are trying to push their agenda against Russia. They want condemnation for Russian action in Ukraine. They wanted India also to be on their side in condemnation of Russian action in Ukraine. However, India had clearly very calculatively avoided such statement condemning Russia, while India has always maintained that there should be a diplomacy, a dialogue, and a cessation of hostilities that is creating a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and Russia. So that has been India's stand. That has been how India has dealt with the crisis and the pressure coming from all the European countries and NATO allies who have been in very good terms with India also. And having said that, it looks like after a lot of negotiations, there is some positive movement on the joint communique. We'll still have to wait because the Sherpas are still continuing their deliberation, and they're trying to rephrase every aspect so that at least a consensus on joint communique could emerge, because it will bring the larger good of other issues that are of also important, like climate change, energy transition, and all. In fact, it will be an existential threat if the joint communique would not come. So probably the multilateralism of G20 will survive more strongly if the joint communique would come, and this is what Indian presidency is trying to achieve.
And that's a positive movement, like you're mentioning, Abhishek. Thank you so much for that information. Remember, we were just discussing with Anand that India has reportedly circulated a new paragraph to incorporate the ongoing crisis in Ukraine by Russia in the leaders' declaration. And that possibly is going to be unveiled this Sunday, that is September 10th, the second day of the G20 summit. And we now hear that there is definitely a positive movement. Anand has important voices reacting to this new development. Over to you, Anand.
Well, Griha, I think one of the bilaterals after it's over, after the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, now the engagement with Japan. And these are pictures we are given to understand of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with Fumio Kishida. We are given to understand that there will also be an engagement with Italy at around 5:30 p.m. But after the UK, there are also bilaterals with Japan, and these are visuals coming through at this point of the engagement or with Japan. Now, Japan again tenuous. India has wanted some amount of leeway and opening of markets for skilled entrepreneurs or skilled employees, skilled workers coming, or skilled force moving in from India to Japan. And Japan has somewhere insisted that the Japanese language and affinity or understanding of Japanese culture is paramount. There should be some headway there. But Japan, mind you, is a very, very close ally and economic partner of Bharat. and very clearly, I'm sure that we will make great strides there. We are given to understand that there will be a presidency press briefing at about 3:45 p.m. Just in about half an hour from now at the Himalaya Hall. This is right in front of me. That's where we should have a press briefing of the presidency on the achievements on day one.